Hi friends! These are the rubrics that I will be using to grade you on your debates if you are the affirmative team. So you can see at the top the whole thing is worth 175 points in total. You get 15 points just for performing your speeches on the day that you are scheduled to. You do not get those points if you don't do your debates on the day that you're scheduled. Out of 5, after stating the proposition, the speaker gives a well-developed hook. So first, when you start your constructive speech, you give the proposition. So where are you coming from? What is your stance? Tell us the proposition very clearly, and then have that flow right into a hook that grabs the audience's attention. Maybe it's something interesting that'll grab us right away and get us to kind of come to your side right off the bat. Your constructive speech time is 6 minutes. If you're first affirmative, this is the most important part for you. That's why it's worth the majority of your points. You have to prove that there is a problem with the status quo. So whatever the status quo is currently, whatever laws and policies are currently in place, you have to prove that we have a problem. You need facts and statistics and stories and evidence to back up the problem with the status quo. And you have to prove that change is absolutely necessary. Without change, things will not progress and go forward as well as they could. We have to have some sort of a change. Scrolling down here, out of 20 points, an effective line of questioning is used. A variety of question types are used, and all questions reflect what was said in the opponent's speech. So after listening to your opponents, the negative side, hopefully you're writing things down as they're talking. You're writing down points that they're making, and you're gonna, go back at them with some questions. Your questions should be varied, they should make sense, and they should be based off of what the negative team was saying. Your cross-examination time is 2 to 3 minutes. On the flip side, out of 10 points, all questions are answered accurately and confidently. So when the other team asks you questions, you're able to answer them based off of the research that you've done on your topic. You have a confidence because you know your topic so well that you're easily able to answer the questions that the negative team will bring up to you. So you might have to anticipate their questions for you a little bit so you know how to answer. Out of 20 points, the rebuttal time is about 2 to 3 minutes, and it's used effectively to respond to attacks made during the debate. So you're using your rebuttal time to respond well to what the other team has said to you. You're able to come back at them based off of what they said and prove why they are incorrect and why you are correct. And then you're also summarizing, your strongest points again in the rebuttal. So bring up your strongest points one more time, summarize those again for us. Out of 10 points, the speaker expertly cites 5 or more pieces of evidence from 3 or more different sources. This used to be 7 pieces of evidence. Brought it down a little bit just to not overwhelm you. So you have to cite at least 5 times. So bring up where you found your information, who said it, the credible places where you got your information from. And then, for 7 to 8 points, you can get, if you do 4 pieces of evidence from 3 different sources, and, you can read that yourself. A works cited page in perfect MLA format is worth 5 points, and that needs to be turned in before your debate. 15 points, maintains frequent eye contact, you're speaking confidently, you have a good volume. You should not just be reading from a script the whole time. You should be talking to the audience because you know your topic so well that you don't just have to look down and read. You're using maybe hand signals, facial expressions, your tone changes based on what you're talking about, that sort of thing. If you are second affirmative, this rubric is for you. Again, you get 15 points just for speaking on the day that you are required to. 5 points for starting with stating the proposition and then having that flow really well into a hook. Even though your partner already did this, you will be doing the same thing too. And the majority of second affirmative is right here. This is the majority of second affirmative's points. You have to present a thorough and detailed plan for change. It needs to be so thorough that I shouldn't really be questioning it. You have thought about pretty much every little detail about the plan in your head. You know exactly what your plan will entail. You could, talk about every part of it without even really have to think too much. The who, what, when, where, why, how of the plan. It shouldn't have any question marks next to it. You're also going to talk about how the plan will improve the status quo. So how will it make the status quo better? Out of 20 points, effective line of questioning is used. So when the other team brings up different points in their speeches, you're able to jot down some questions while they're talking, and then you're going to ask them some different sorts of questions that make sense based off of what they said in their speeches. And then you will answer questions accurately and confidently. So use the research that you have to answer the questions that the negative side brings up. 20 points, the rebuttal time is used to effectively respond to attacks made during the debate and to summarize the strongest points. So, respond to what the negative side says. If the negative side brings up a point, you need to respond to it. You need to cite 5 or more pieces of evidence from 3 or more different sources. A works cited page in perfect MLA format is done and turned in before the speech. And finally, the speaker speaks with confidence, accuracy, using facial expressions, not simply reading. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. Have a good day.